Okay, so my take on the portaband stand holder. This was my first TIG welding project, and using the yeswelder 205 multi-process. I was using their TIG torch setup, and as you can see, I need a lot of more practice. And especially if you looked at the welds on this thing. But good enough to hold, I suppose. A lot of porosity and a bunch of crap, but nothing but practice. So anyway, the way I set this up, so I built this the other day. I used a stick welder function to test this out. Welded probably a 4-inch thing into a rim, and then welded on some supports, welded some wheels on them, and what that does too. So, hold on, get this out of here. So basically, I wanted to make this one of the more simple ones, to where it hangs. You don't have to screw it into anything. It just hangs there, and you can take it on and off. So I ended up, you just put some round stock on some square stock. Put a piece of little angle iron right here in between them, just as kind of a place to weld these guys up. So just put these supports here, measured this at like 2 3/4, which lets this back part fit a little bit into it. You can see it kind of, that's where it hits, so it wedges in there kind of nicely the way this is built, because it's not flat through the back. So using the handle, you just have it come down in, and then it wedges there, and then it sticks right here. And that was that was pretty much good enough almost. Welded these two little guys on here just to go on the side of the handle and on the side right here, and that just kind of helps a little extra. Then the way I'd set this up, because originally this was going to be a stand for a vise that I could move around, and I figured one way I can get some multi-function use out of this is I took a receiver and welded it to a plate, welded the plate to that, so now I have a hitch receiver, and then I can build things that just fit in there. So at the bottom of this guy, I welded on another piece of some 2-inch square stock receiver stuff. So all I gotta do is drop that down in there, and there's that. And then I'll just make different things that I can stick here in here, which are probably just going to be the vise. And then one tip that I did see to help take up some of the slack between these two is you just make a couple little spot welds on one end of the tube, and then you can grind them down to make a more of a tighter fit between this guy and that guy. The other issue you have is where it gets attached to the top. I can chamfer. I didn't really chamfer that down. That's just straight across. So it's, it takes a little bit of finagling, but I mean, once you get it in there, and then all you gotta do with the saw is, I just had the cord kind of go through here, but anyway, you take your saw, get your handle in there. This thing's I made these guys pretty tight, so. But you just wiggle it in there. Get your cord out the way. Falls in there, nice. You can see how, like I told you, it kind of snugs up right there. Yeah, it's not pinching or anything too crazy. And the handle fits. Like that. It's nice too because it kind of, so these two side pieces still hit the top right here, and then these hold it, so it helps it from twisting. But and that's where these come into play. And so really the only movement I have is from the receiver bottom part right here, because there's a little bit of a, that weld is holding it up a little bit. So if I really felt like it, I could, take that little wiggle out of it. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, like, this is solid enough to where I'm not gonna, if I'm cutting stuff, I'm not gonna be pushing it over and whatever. And the cord just fits over there. People put the cord onto a switch, and then they put a tie or a Velcro strap or something, and then they just switch the switch on and off. But works great. And then, when I'm done, if I want to move it around, I just kick it back and go cruising. So there's my take on it. These things, I've been messing with it. MIG function works pretty good. The stick function works pretty good. The lift TIG part of it's kind of a pain. Like, striking the arc's not too bad, but then when you get to the end, trying to get the arc away to stop it, and you have to pull the torch away, but you still have to have it like close enough to have gas coverage so that the weld doesn't, bubble up and get the porosity and stuff in there because of the no gas coverage. That's pain. So like I said, it's learning and practice. So, but anyway, have a good one.